PSA, all I'm going to say is watch this video to the end, guys. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to start off with saying that. Super disappointed with PSA. Two things I want to start off by saying. A, when you after you watch this, you should be blown away. That's all. I'm just going to leave it at that. I've been a collector since about 92, 93. Pretty heavy. And I understand that there's, tomato when it comes to PSA and Beckett. iPhone, Samsung, Ford, Chevy. It's, who do you like better? You can argue the points either way. What I can't stand, and what I've been seeing in this hobby, more and more, the market lean toward PSA. And I'll be biased. I'll admit that I'm biased. I've always liked Beckett. If you look around my room, which I'm not going to pan it, but I predominantly go Beckett. Now, in the past, since the epidemic, I've never sent to PSA ever. My first submission of Beckett, just to give you some substance and some history, was like 2000 or 2001 was my first submission, maybe 2002, to Beckett. I've sent to Beckett a lot over the years. And during the pandemic, I decided to go with PSA. After they opened back up, I shouldn't have, but I decided to go with PSA. The values with PSA were going crazy. I was finding myself purchasing a little bit more PSA stuff. So I just, the value was just going crazy with PSA. It used to be that a 9.5 Beckett and a 10 PSA were pretty close. I mean, a PSA 10 would get more, but a 9.5 was right behind it. But the variance got so, the discrepancy between those prices and that gap just got wider and wider. And I've had some real bad experiences, I'll be honest with you, with PSA. I've sent a stack of like 20 or 25 9.5s, I think it was, to possibly cross over. I mean, look, maybe like 5 of them I was hoping. I wasn't looking for anything crazy. I'm not dumb. Not all of them would cross. I get that. But I sent a whole stack of like 25 over. Me being dumb, not watching YouTube and other, folks that have already done this kind of stuff. Not thinking to look and whatnot. I just did it. I was like, I want to cross these over. You fill out the form. You say, hey, if it's not at least a 10, then don't cross it. So I did that. So what I get back, every single one of them came back. It still in the Beckett case. So that burned me up. Spent a lot of money. I think it was like a $2,000 order, maybe more, for them to basically look at all of them and say, here you go. Sorry, none of them are going to cross. We're not going to do any additional work. We're not going to give you a partial refund on anything. We don't care. So that left a real bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, are you kidding me? Then I start researching more and seeing more videos on people doing this and how it's rigged. Basically, they're not gonna cross them over. Very rare are they gonna cross one over. It happens, yes, but it's rare. Now, if you crack them and then send them, you have a better chance of getting them to cross over. And that's another thing. Why doesn't anybody call that out with PSA? Or I guess Beckett in that case too. But not many people are crossing over to get 9.5s or 10s with Beckett because they're harder to get. It's harder to get a 10 with Beckett. It's plain and simple. So that's why people go PSA. And that's why I've always been an avid. And we can argue that point, but that's why, Beckett's got 3 levels of mint or gem. I mean, gem, pristine, and black label. I mean, a 10 is not a 10. All 10s are not the same, and that's the thing that kills me with PSA is all these 10s are not the same. And Beckett, I think, has done a very good job from the jump, but the hobby is just for some reason not taken on to it. Not like, let's use our brain, people. Not all 10s are 10s. And because we've priced it, marketed it, the market is so high with 10s, it's crazy. Most of those aren't probably real 10s. You crack that and send it to Beckett, you'll probably get like a 9.5. All I'm saying is, and we could argue that point too. I'm sure there's people that have gone both ways. I've submitted to PSA, and it's come back lower, and I've sent, and then they come back higher, and I've crossed them over from Beckett, and again they've come in lower and come in higher. So I understand there's always, but at the end of the day, it's really all a racket. So for us to hold PSA at such a high level is pretty stupid. It is pretty stupid. So now I'm getting to the part that should blow your mind if you want to watch this. So I'm getting ready to do a submission back to back. Getting at is this, and what I would like you to watch is this. And this is the company and the card, the case, because everybody argues about PSA's case is so great. Oh, their case is so lovely. And I hope the sports card investor is watching this. It ends up watching this, and I hope you you put this out there, and maybe we can connect or something, because I think this is ridiculous in my opinion. And I don't know how many people have done this. Maybe I'm the 1000th person, and I'm just, you know, I don't know. But I'm gonna pull a card out, and we're going to show you how awesome. Okay, PSA. I just had this graded. I can always pull up the sheet if need be. All right, nothing. There's nothing wrong with this. It's not tampered with. It hasn't been broke, sealed, or anything. Same with the whole stack. How is it that I can do this with my nail now? I'm just cracking the rest of it. How is it now, if I wanted to, this is how bad PSA is, okay? My bare hands. If I wanted to be that guy, and this is where the hobby needs to wake up, and this is where people need to figure it out. Why is it that I can now crack that thing out right out of the case? Well, let's just take it to the net. Let's just go ahead and now, why is it I can pull that card out of there with my bare hands? I could essentially, there is a little stress there. Granted, I did this with my hands. I'm not a professional. I'm sure if I was doing this regularly, I could get really good at it to where I'm not getting any stress fractures. There's a couple little stress fracture there. Tiny little crack. I think that's actually when I just cracked it up and said the heck with it, is when it did that. But what I'm getting at is, why is it that I can do this barehanded, but yet this company, trash, is the best company out there when it comes to tens? Are you kidding me? Think about this.